Here at ConvinceMeAudio, we're not unfamiliar with Questyle. The company won the CMA award for their portable and their desktop setup 2 years ago. Extremely impressed with their current drive implementation of their amplifiers for hard to drive units that require a tremendous amount of current, especially the Sasvaras. Since that point in time, there have been a few additions to their lineup, including the CMA18 Portable, which we reviewed last year, and now there is something in between the M15, which is now called the M18, I believe, and there's a M12 that came out with minor upgrades, but predominantly M15, CMA18 Portable, and then the master desktop setups of CMA15 and then the CMA18. The naming scheme is a little confusing, but what you've got to remember, there's a baby one, a mid-size one, and a large one for portable use case, and there's one desktop setup solution with a beautiful glass top. That one we will review in due course. Let us commence with this latest edition of their M18i, which fixes a myriad of problems of the CMA18 Portable, increases the power of the M15 in a mid-size package. Hi, I'm CO. Welcome to our new studio at ConvinceMeAudio. I do appreciate the patience. 3 months it's taken us, but we are finally back. Let's begin. Akin to the M15, which I have quite a few of them around here, this is the M18i. Same style casing, as you can see here. You take the literature out, we take a USB-C braided to Lightning. Oh, we're done with those, thank fudge. This is the unit itself, and then we have a USB-C to a USB-C MIA. This one is of the same fabric material. Nicely designed. I usually keep a dozen of these things around just in case they break during shows, which since the IFI debacle, I honestly have been overly cautious about the whole situation. Okay, let's dispense with that box. It's just a basic nice box. This unit comes in around £269 in the UK. Please check down below for the latest pricing. I will take out the M15 that I have here that I love and I use on a regular basis, so you guys can see the comparison sizes between the two, MIA and MIA. So smaller box, smaller unit, and here they both are. Okay, let's do a hardware tour quickly. We have a dual ESS Sabre chip in this unit, the latest edition of the ESS line. Full specifications scrolling down the screen here for you, for those of you who are interested in numbers. 130 dB-ish dynamic range, noise floor. This includes a 1.8 watt into 32 ohm. If this is accurate, that's kind of insane for this sized unit. We will discuss how that works out in regards to driving headphones. Not only that, we have a myriad of other specifications that beef this unit up over the M18 Portable and the little baby M15. Oh, this thing's really tiny. Jeez. But this one comes with a slew of features that honestly, since this came in, I have not used this in the slightest. So we have a data USB-C input here, entry for 32-bit 384, DSD up to 256, a USB-C for the power supply, which is separated, thank you for this, in case you want to use this with a laptop. This obviously separates the power delivery and the data, so it reduces noise, etc. We have a pair of outputs here for your headphones, balanced 4.4 and single-ended 3.5. This side of the unit, apart from the power, is pretty blank. Then we have the rear of the unit, same as the M15 here. And then obviously we have a slew of switches and buttons, which we will talk about now. Power up top, And if you press it, you get some data information on a beautiful OLED screen on the surface. No more Christmas tree lighting effects and firework displays. No, an actual display, an OLED display, I believe this is, to give you sample rate, gain, input such as Bluetooth or USB, etc. Information that is actually useful to you. And the screen seems to be pretty decent because my OCR reads it perfectly well. So if that can manage it, you guys should be okay. Then we have volume up and down, and then we have, I'm going to skip this button for now because I'm going to come back to it. It's very, very comprehensive. And then we have a switch. This is for Bluetooth all the way down, USB for your PC or Mac. And once you are in USB mode, the unit will take charge from the power cable, no problems. So we usually scroll down to the bottom of the switch for USB. This is not a gain switch like the M15, bear that in mind. That is a little bit more complicated. This multifunction button here does a slew of things. First of all, they fixed my first gripe. Play, pause, rewind, fast forward with a single, double and triple click. Happy days. Once you're in USB mode, you can hold this for a couple of seconds and change the gain mode. You can't do it in Bluetooth. Okay, not bad. And finally, we have the full unit here. Functionality, 5 tigers out of 5 over the CMA18 Portable and M15. Being able to skip tracks and play, pause, rewind, fast forward, etc. Whatever device you have, with Bluetooth implementation, you need it. The CMA18 Portable was a nightmare in regards to this. So well done. The device itself is beautiful, slightly bigger, and quite nicely designed. It's actually the same size as the Astel & Kern. Is it FC4 full name? Here I will actually drop down for you in a second because this unit hasn't been reviewed yet and I'm literally unboxing it for you now, like so. This one is of a similar size, but without all the functionality of this one. So let me put that there. And I'm going to place this next to this, slightly smaller actually. And I'm going to place that there. So the CMA18 Portable, their big boy amp DAC portable unit. Their baby, the M12, this is the M15 that was released with a lower number, and after this, incidentally, I think it's just M18 now. Please check the latest naming scheme for this one. This one's had 3 or 4 releases and I don't understand why. Anyway, this one's the M15, then we have that one, and then the most important one, M18i. This is the creme de la creme of these tiny dongles, in my opinion. With that, let's move all of this stuff out of the way and talk about the sound. This unit firmly sits in between the tonality of the CMA18 Portable, which was without exception studio reference, almost borderline analytical. Absolutely, unequivocally, no life in regards to variations and alterations to the music itself. It had a really nice black background and it was something that you could use for mixing and mastering if you have a portable setup on the go. It would have worked fine. Fantastic noise floor level, no problems with distortion and no problems with noise. So this one sits below that in that sort of tonality where this is actually that tonality, yet with a touch of sweetness, a touch of life. Its stage is not as big as the CMA18 Portable, but bigger than the M15 here. So it literally is down the middle of the road in comparison to the baby and the monster big one. The unit itself has good delivery of the frequencies from sub bass to treble region. It's very well balanced, good punch in the mid bass, good sub bass extension, not too bad textural information and tactility. I mean, we are talking about dongles. These are designed to be used on the go, and their efficiency with driving, for example, this is the Sounds Flame Tiger Edition and the Abyss Diana MR, which is my daily driver when I'm walking around the property and stuff, and also the Binom ER 2024, which is still being tweaked and tuned and stuff. This unit performs on those pretty nicely. Going down genres of music, for example, going down the classical and the movie score soundtracks, Hans Zimmer, John Williams, Howard Shore, etc. It provides a nice layering and staging of the instruments within the stage itself. There seems to be good enough delivery for double bass, for cellos, nice tonal density and weight, but I wouldn't say it measures up to something like the Mojo 2, which has more weight more incisive edge of attack and a more articulate, better timbre. But the Mojo 2 is a lot bigger. Unfortunately, it's not in the studio right now. I'm using it as my daily driver in the kitchen with the iMac and the Axel Grail headphone, which actually I found really intriguing. So if you're interested in that headphone, subscribe Mia or down Mia somewhere for that review. Plus, I've been running the AR5000 and SR7000 from Own. Those two headphones have really impressed me. So we are going to be doing quite a lot of reviews sub 1000 for those of you who concentrate predominantly in this area and have actually better things to do with your money than wasting it on hi-fi. Going back to the sonic characteristics of this dongle, it's my favorite Q-style tuning, including their CMA15 desktop setup. It's a sweeter sound. It reminds me a little bit of the Hollow Audio Serene, the pre we used to use as a headphone amplifier. A touch of that vitality, a touch of that sweetness and enjoying music. When you start thinking about your equipment, whilst you're listening to music, that equipment has failed. And I want to say this has done quite a good job distracting me whilst I'm doing other things without it being too distracting and overly high performing where you just stop in the middle of the room and your mouth is open going, did I just hear that on the go? No, this performs very, very well. It's good enough. It's definitely a better option than this one, the Astel and Kern unit, which is pretty similar in size. I mean, look at this. This one is bigger than this one and no useful functionality on this one. I'm not really a big fan. This one's got upsampling that honestly, meh, go over there. Driving IEMs on this unit is fine. I've predominantly been using it on low gain because you don't need anything else and it's enough, even for hard to drive demanding IEMs, such as the, to be honest, Moondrop variations require some power to drive well, not loud, well. So those with this have been doing a very good job on low gain. But with that, let's actually swing over to headphones. Using the Diana MR from Abyss as my reference for portable big headphone use case and the Binom ER 2024 edition, which is harder to drive than the original Binom ER, this has been doing okay. What happens is, fortunately, when you turn up the volume, the treble region does not run away with itself where it leaves the bass behind. No, but it's not exactly hit you in the chest, impact, crazy power control either. It's just enough to get you from A to B and does a very good job in a clean, sweet musical way. Listening to Noisier, shuffling this artist, you get excellent sub-bass extension. I would say if I was to put a marker on how authoritative and weighty and impactful the sub-bass is, and 10 being the top, I would put it at a firm 7.9. Mid-range is spectacular on this. It's very referenced, very down the middle, very balanced. I would definitely put that at the 8.5 out of 10 category. Treble region, I find it non-fatiguing. I find it not as relaxing because it has a bit of that slightly brighter sound than, say, for example, the Mojo 2, but it's not bright enough that I would consider it a bright sounding unit. It's got a nice subtle black background and it drives this headphone adequately enough that I can keep this in my pocket and actually not worry about bulky units such as the Luxury and Precision P6 Pro, for example, our reference DAP. This is for on the go, to drive anything portable on the go, like Stelia, like Diana MR, like Binom ER, but there is diminishing returns when you start hitting the harder to drive planars. It's better for dynamic headphones, I would say, where the drivability and demanding aspect of the headphone is. But for IEMs, you shouldn't have any problem, and it's a significant upgrade over the M15, and it's genuinely, where are you, better than this Astel and Kern dongle that's been sent in. I would choose this for convenience sake and for tonality over the CMA18 portable, though that is far more powerful. But that unit just annoyed me in regards to not having controls for skipping and stuff. Especially, most of the time, portable stuff I like to use wireless. It's very rare for me to attach a phone to it. If I want to do that, I'll use a proper DAP, you know? But there are those of you who do like using, for example, the Mojo 2 as your amp DAC combo tied to your phone in a big block. And in that scenario, I think that does better than this. But this is definitely a step up. It's definitely been improved in every way over the M15, especially dual data and power, the controls for the skipping, fast forwarding, and then we get one more benefit out of this. This has an inbuilt microphone with noise cancelling for your phone calls. This doesn't, and that always caused havoc every time a call used to come through because your phone used to be in your pocket, IEMs in your ears, headphones on your head, and then they would say, why do I sound like I'm buried in your bed somewhere? At least this has a microphone, especially if it's on your desk with your laptop. That will help a lot, and it sounds pretty decent. I'll try and throw a clip in here of the microphone sound quality within this review so you can actually get an aspect of it. This is the mic sound test for the Questyle M18I, and this is what it sounds like in comparison with the studio microphones we are using currently. Okay, those are the strengths, those are the sounds, those are the headphones it drives. What are the downsides? The downsides are two for me here. The Bluetooth range, line of sight, 30 feet, no problem. But my property is a Victorian property, and as soon as I turn into another room, literally, even if it's just behind the studio, so technically 10 feet, cuts out. It's one of the worst performing Bluetooth devices I've had here in a while. I am not having a good experience with it. My phone has to be literally a dozen feet away from it and in line of sight. This mileage may vary for some of you depending on what walls you have, what your building is like, how open your property is, but for me, that's been the problem. Out and about, not a problem at all because the phone is in one pocket, this is in the other, and completely fine. But this property doesn't allow signal to pass through the walls very easily, and it's been quite demanding. To give you an example, the IFI Go Pods has absolutely no issues. The Focal Batiste has no problems, and I've never had any problems in regards to the Apple line of products. So those have been spectacular as per usual. That's one gripe I have that is quite important, and it might affect quite a lot of you just depending on the property you're at. My other one is battery. This is okay. I wouldn't put it in the spectacular category for battery, but it's good enough. I usually get a few hours out of it listening about 76 dB, but some of my IEMs and some of my headphones are very demanding, so bear that in mind. I usually have to top it up after about 3 hours of usage-ish. It's a very small unit, and it seems to be actually taking a little more power than I expected. The CMA18 Portable obviously is a much bigger device with 4 zip drives, and I think that was a little bit better in regards to power management, but this one is half the size and it's got a screen as well, so there are a lot of factors that do need to be taken into consideration. In conclusion, what do I think of the M18i here at CMA? It has taken place on my shelf and on my desk as my daily driver for Q-style products. I don't use the M15 anymore, and I rarely tend to use the CMA18 Portable because of that functionality. Like I mentioned, if I'm out and about, I want to be able to control volume and stuff like that. But if I'm at a desk or something, if I would need to throw something in the laptop bag, it does a very good job. But Chord Mojo 2 has walked its way back into my life at the moment in the studio, and it seems to be doing a better job there. But overall, I would give this 3 solid tigers out of 5. It's got superb aspects, a couple of downsides that could be problematic, but overall, a fantastic product. Well done, Questyle. And if you like reviews such as these, consider joining our Patreon group over on Telegram, the CMA Audio Lounge chat. That is where you get to hear most of my impressions before YouTube, before the videos go live. And also, if you're in the higher tier of the Ambush of Tigers, you get the reviews before anyone else. And you get to talk to me directly, and I'll help you with your system setups, etc. Until the next one from the new CMA studio, peace.